Facility Information section of the Facility Inventory in SLEIS. To navigate to the Facility Information section, click the Login link in the upper right corner from the Welcome screen, and then log into SLEIS using your email address and password. Click the Login button on the right side of the screen, and then select the facility for which you would like to update information. Some users may only have one facility on the My Facility screen, while others may have more than one facility. To select your facility, click the Open button under the Actions heading on the right. You will be taken to the My Reports screen. If your emissions report has been generated by the DNR, an Open button will be listed on the right side of the screen under the Actions heading. Click the Open button and you will be navigated toward the 2015 emissions report screen, as well as the facility inventory information. The buttons under the facility inventory heading, facility, release points, control devices, emission units, and unit processes contain the same information that was formerly saved under site management in SPARS. For this section, we will focus on the Facility button to update and maintain our general facility information. After clicking the Facility button, we are taken to a screen that lists 5 tabs of facility information. Information related to the facility, information related to contacts, addresses, the location, as well as additional information. You'll notice that when you first come to this screen, you are not in edit mode. Only the editor role have an edit button in the lower right corner that would allow them to edit the information. Viewers will not have editor rights. So after clicking the Edit button, you'll notice that some of these fields are opened up to be edited or maintained. The first data field is the Facility Identifier. This is the DNR facility number that has been assigned to your facility. This field has been locked down to keep facilities from changing this number. There shouldn't be any reason for the Facility Identifier to be changed. The next field is the Facility Name field, which has also been locked down. In order to change your facility name, you need to do so by either sending an email or a letter to the DNR Records Center or the DNR Air Quality staff, notifying them of the name change. The next field is the company, the parent company, or the owner name. You'll notice that this field is editable, but it does have a red bar on the left side of the data field, which indicates it's a required field. If this field was left blank and the user tried to save the change, they would be notified that there's a validation error and there is a corrective action listed under the field for which there is missing data. Please enter the parent company or owner name for this facility. If your facility does not have a parent company or owner name, the facility name may be used. There's a spot for a description of the facility, but it is not required. The status of the facility. You have the ability to select one of 4 statuses. One is the operating as minor source status. The second one is operating as Title V, or you can indicate that the facility is either permanently shut down or temporarily shut down. If your status is operating as Title V, the status date is not required. After we click Save, you'll notice that SLEIS does not require the status date. If the status is anything other than operating as Title V, so let's say we were Title V and we switched, we were permitted out of the Title V program and took limits and became a minor source facility, you would then need to fill in the status date. The date that should be entered should be the date that the facility was permitted out of the Title V program. The NAICS field is the North American Industrial Classification System code. This is a 6-digit code that tells the DNR what type of business description the facility has. You'll notice that when you type in this field, once you start typing a value, there will be a list of results that are returned based on the search criteria. If you type in a number that is not in the code list, a selection will not be available for you to make. You can either search by the NAICS code or the NAICS description. Once you have filled in all of the necessary required fields on the Facility tab, you may click the Save button, and the database will let you know if the data was successfully updated. Moving on to the Contacts tab, this is where you can indicate which staff at the facility should be contacted if there are any questions about the emissions report submitted to the DNR. You'll notice that there's only room for one emissions contact. Once you have entered the contact name, you are then required to at least provide one contact type. Here, we have 3 contact types listed. You'll notice that there are delete buttons indicated by a trash can icon. If you want to remove one of the contact types, simply click the delete button and it will be removed. If you would like to add a contact type, click the Add button to the right, provide your contact type on the left, and then you will also be required to provide a value for that contact type. The next tab is the Addresses tab. Here you can provide information to the physical location of your facility, which is the top part of the screen, as well as mailing address information for your facility. If your mailing address has changed, please update the mailing address information in SLEIS to assist DNR with timely delivery of reporting requirement letters. I'm going to delete a required field to show you what will happen once we try to save information related to the facility. In this case, I've deleted the locality of the mailing address. Moving on to the Location tab, you'll notice there are 5 data fields that have red bars listed with them. Not all of the data elements with the red bars are actually required. If you know the latitude as well as the longitude for your facility, and then you click into the UTM coordinates, either X or Y or zone, you'll notice that those data fields are auto-populated based on your facility latitude and your facility longitude that was entered. You may also choose to leave your latitude or longitude blank, but then fill in your coordinates, X, Y, and zone, for your facility, and then your latitude and longitude will automatically populate. The last tab on the General Facility Information screen is the Additional Information tab. Information listed here is data that was migrated forward from SPARS that had value added for either DNR staff or SLEIS stakeholders. Some points of interest to your facility may be secondary NAICS and tertiary NAICS for those businesses that have more than one main operation occurring at their facility. Once you have saved all of your data for the General Facility Information screen, click the Save button in the lower right corner, and you will be prompted whether or not the save was successfully changed. In this case, we have been notified on the Addresses tab that we have either provided an invalid code or left a data field blank. This has been indicated to us by a yellow caution triangle on that tab. So going to this tab and scrolling down, we can easily find which data element is missing data. And in this case, it's the locality. I tried to save this information without including the city. After typing in the city, I then click the Save button again. SLEIS tells me the facility was successfully updated. Anywhere in the General Facility Information, you can see what the last edit was for information within this tab. Here it's showing us that the SLEIS Help Desk account made the last save on February 19, 2016. So not only does it tell you what user made the last change, it also tells you when that change was made. That concludes the recorded training for the Facility Information section